Hello, welcome. I know I said I was going to do this tomorrow, the recap of the meeting yesterday, but I had time to do it now. All the votes are in. So what I'm going to do is just quick go over kind of what went down, and then some of the stuff that went down, there was a few things that we should have cleared up or discussed yesterday. So I'm going to start that discussion here and now today. So the meeting basically started off as normal. We went through a recap, handed all the awards. Um, let's get right to the important stuff. All right, so the league vote. The first thing that we voted on was the best of the rest results. This was to either leave the system as is, which means, for example, if you were third, uh, the 14th place team going into the best of the rest tournament and you won it, you would no longer have the third pick. You would go to the ninth pick. It's either A, leave it at that, or change it to best of the rest doesn't impact results. So you could win the best of the rest tournament and still have the third overall pick. That passed. Um, very, very much a landslide. That one passed. So going forward, um, the only teams that will be impacted by will be the playoff teams. Those are the only ones that'll get impacted. Everything else will be based off regular season standings. Next up was the Ritz rule. This would make it so if you played Nick Ritz's team, you would not be able to. You'd have to sit your quarterback. Surprisingly, that one was actually quite close. We actually had one, two, three. Well, I guess not super close, but we actually had 4 votes to pass that one. There was 4 teams that were like, you know what, I want Ritz to have a fair opportunity to beat us all. But that one did not pass. That one failed. So sorry, Nick, you're gonna have to deal with every team's quarterback going forward. Next up, we had the 8-on-8. This would be this was a layered one, but it's also layered based off the first one. So this one was to add a extra defensive lineman, linebacker, and defensive back to your lineup. This one failed. This one did not pass. So the rest of it is irrelevant. Um, so now we go to the big one, which was the 4-2. This one is a layered one, but each one was voted on separately. Did not matter on each one's if they passed or not. So the first part is to take us from 4 divisions to 2 divisions. That one passed. Um, so we will now have just 2 divisions. More on that to come. Next up, the second part was bracket versus reseeding. The reseeding won. So going forward, the second round, the number 1 seed or the highest seed in the second round will always play the lowest seed team. Third part was either 7 teams or 8 teams in the playoffs. 7 teams won, so we'll keep it as is. So it means the first seed will have a bye. And then the fourth part of this was if we voted to go to just 2 divisions, how would we choose new divisions? And that was chosen to be drawing. So more on that to come. Next up, we had the scoring change request, which was quarterback sack, negative points towards the quarterback reduction. That did not pass. Also, not passing was to have all points in all categories reduced. Next up, we had change request for kickers, which this is only for positive. Negative will still stay as is, but in the positive, it was originally arranged. So, for example, it was 1 to 19, 20 to 29, and you would get those category points. So if the kicker hit a 19-yard field goal, he'd get 10 points. If they kick a 29-yard field goal, you get 20 points, 39, and so forth. But it maxed out at 50. This was up was to change it to true, because they added where you can actually do true yardage now. So if they kick a 59-yard field goal, they would get 59 points. If they kick a 65-yard field goal, they get 65 points. This one passed. So we will now have true points for kickers. There was no scoring system, no other scoring system change requests, so skip that one. As far as the destination draft, the Green Bay discussion is probably dead in the water. Maybe not fully. I still think there's an opportunity based off what, if you saw my presentation, Green Bay is looking to put together a, what's it called? A fantasy football draft program or policy or whatever you want to term it. Package, I think was the word. And so that could, if that goes into play, that would be a lot less than some of the numbers that were talked about on Saturday. But as of right now, I think for 2028, I don't think we'll be doing Green Bay. But again, more to come. I may know as early as sometime later this year, or during this May even possibly, about that package we talked about, fantasy football package in Green Bay. I will continue to look at other destinations. It does sound like a lot of people want to keep it a little bit closer to this way. So we'll figure it out. We'll come up with something. We'll do something special for that 15th anniversary. And then we only had one open forum idea, and that was to have, unfortunately, we had a lot of people who were unable to attend or watch the stream, I guess, yesterday. And this happens in the past, which leads to a lot of things we have to wait and wait and wait for votes. So it was brought up to have a kind of a closed vote. So after a vote, after, for example, topic one, let's say we're talking topic one. After we are done talking topic one, and we take all the votes that we could get, and we move on to topic two, 10 minutes go on the clock, and you have 10 minutes then to respond. You can always, of course, pre-vote. If you feel like you're not going to watch it, of course, that's why we do that month out video about what's up for vid or up for vote. So you could pre-vote. So if you think you're not going to be able to watch a stream, pre-vote. But that one did pass. So we will now have a closed vote 10 minutes after we move on from the topic. So the second we go into topic, I'll have a timer. The second we go into topic two, hit that timer. And then after 10 minutes expires, whatever votes are in that category is what the majority would be. All right. So that brings us back to my big topic, which was the two divisions. So one thing that we forgot to do was number one. So some of these I'm going to be sending out. I'll be sending out text. We'll do this one via text. These are pretty simple based votes as a whole. So typically when we do, so back in, was it 3-4 years ago when we did the division realignment, that one we decided to hold off for a year. So we did it, or we did the vote, but then we weren't going to do it that year. We did it the following year. So with this one, we didn't decide if we want to make this immediate for 2026 or hold off to 2027. So the first part of this vote is going to be, I'm going to send out, do you want to start it now? Which we can. It wouldn't be that big problem to do it now. So either A, have the two divisions in 2026, or have it start in 2027. The second part of this is going to be the scheduling. So typically right now I do our scheduling. And the way our scheduling with the 4 divisions has worked is there's a divisional rotation. So you're guaranteed to play every team at least every 3 years. So the way your actual schedule goes, though, is you play your in division twice. So there's 6 games. And then you had the divisional rotation, which was 4 games. And then you had 4 outstanding games from the other 2 divisions. So with this now, we're going to have 2 divisions of 8 teams. and a 14-game schedule. So I've come up with 3 options. Majority will rule, of course, and I'll just break them all down. And so the first option is going to be you play your division twice. So your entire schedule, you would play your division 2 times. That would be your 14 games, and then you wouldn't meet the other division unless it was the playoffs. So this is very similar. Some of you that are big sports fans are gonna. This should be very similar to the old Major League Baseball um, rules, where the American League only played the American League and the National League only played the National League, other than the All-Star Game and the World Series. Benefits to this is you will truly get your division winner. Um, I think also what it does is it'll bring back something our league hasn't had since we did the division realignment, and that is rivalries. Because you're only playing 7 different teams in a season, but you play them twice, we're going to get some rivalries back, and that's something I think we need desperately. Um, I don't see too many negatives. The biggest negative might be that, well, you're not playing the other teams, but then I think that makes when they play each other in the playoffs, I think that makes it even cooler, makes it even more meaningful. Um, the second option is going to be play everybody. So you would play everybody one team, and this is like a Yahoo. This would almost be like a Yahoo schedule. The way Yahoo schedule, because I make our schedules. I have a formula that I do. Um, but with this, everyone would play everyone, except there'd be one team you wouldn't play that year, and we would just let Yahoo make the schedule, I guess. Whatever rotation, how they want to do it. Um, Another option. So the downside to the playing everyone is, well, yeah, you got to play everyone. However, it can screw with the division championship. And the reason I say that is sometimes you won't get a true division winner. Um, because if you have the way it works is overall record, of course, is the main tiebreaker, right? There's no tiebreaker. It's if you're 10-4 and the next team is 9-5, well, obviously you won the division. But if you're both 10-4, the next difference is in division record. Well, you're only playing your teams once, so you could have a lot of the teams in your division with like very similar in division records. Um, and then of course it comes down to points. So that's why I'm personally going to really push for that. Play your division teams twice. But this one will be play everybody except one team. And yeah, like I said, we'll just let Yahoo make the schedule in that case. The third option is um, going with you would play your division teams 10 times. So you would play every team in your division once, and there might be 3 other teams you would play, and I could rotate that every year. So, for example, like let's say, uh, we could gear it towards maybe what like look to be like the rivals, or I could just rotate it. For example, let's say Anthony, Kyle, and Rich are in the same division. I don't know why I'm giving names. Um, let's say Megan, for example. Let's take Megan. Megan plays her whole division, and then she has in her division, let's say Anthony, Rich, and Kyle are in her division. Maybe year 1 she plays those 3, and then the next year, her next 3 could be myself, Brady, and Ian. Whatever. Um, we could rotate it that I could rotate it like that actually relatively easily. So that's one way we could do it, and then you would just play 4 teams from the other division. This way, at least you're getting more meat into your in division play that way. I can't really think of really a fourth option, so those were the 3 I came up with. So it's either A, play in division games twice, 2, play everyone, or C, play 10 division games and 4 non-division games. And And then there is actually one other thing I'm going to throw out there to vote on. So the other thing I'm going to throw out there real quick, and again, this wouldn't be a big deal. So let's say we decide we do want to start it this year, and we do want to do, like, let's say we do the you play your division teams twice, or no, don't do that one. Let's say we pick the you play your division 10 times or play everyone, whatever. The other question is going to be, do we want a new schedule from what I've written for 2026 currently, or roll with the 2026? And then no matter if we'll still have the two divisions, but that it could screw a lot of things up. So maybe that's a bad idea to even bring that one up. Let's just go if we go with this in 2026. If we're going to go with it now, don't even think about that one. We'll just have a new schedule, regardless. Whatever you pick, whatever we pick between those three options. Yeah. And I'll send that one out. The first thing I'm going to send out is the 2026, 2027. When we get the response on that, then if it is, let's start it now, then I will send out the second part, which is how to do the schedule. If we decide we want to do this in 2027, we could actually theoretically wait to even the draft, or I could send it out regardless, I guess. But first, we got to decide if we're doing this now or not. So I will send that text out soon. As far as the drawing portion, I'm going to do a stream this weekend, Saturday, time to be determined. But this Saturday, Ritz is going to come over, and he and I are going to we'll put the eggs together, everyone's name in there, and we'll draw the divisions out. So we'll have that in hand right now, which will help if we decide to do this now. I kind of want to do it now, to be honest with you. I'm going to vote for 2026 just to start it. I think this is really a cool concept. It really, and this is also why I guess I'm going to push for the play every division twice. Like I said, I want to see the rivalries again, and I kind of like I really want to see how cool it would be. Like, oh, now you meet in the playoffs. Like, oh, how are they going to do against this team? They haven't seen them this year, so um, I think the play everyone is kind of boring. I don't know. I like to have something special. I don't like to have like what most leagues do. Most leagues you play everyone in the regular season. That's why I like ours. It's different from what most things are. Um, so here, I'm gonna end this stream now. I'm gonna get off, and I'm gonna send out the first part of this, and then if you guys could just text me, and then I'll give the results via text. Or I guess we could do it in the group. I'll do it in the group. Just vote on the group one, and this way everyone can see how people are voting. Because one thing I've noticed about our league is sometimes people um, like to go with the flow. So I will put it out, and then I will immediately answer first, and I will say 2026 to start it now. So with that being said, I'm going to end the stream. Thanks for watching. I will send this out to you guys right now for those that maybe don't have me. If you don't have me, subscribe. So, because if you subscribe to me, I think and you turn a notification on when I do this, it'll pop up on your phone. Hey, Fantasy Commissioner's doing this. Come watch it. It's important. Fantasy football. Woo! So, thanks everyone, and we'll talk to you real soon. All right, bye bye.